Welcome back to 20 Minutes or Less. I'm Elliot Morgan.
I'm Lee Newton.
Unfortunately, we have to bring you some saddening news today. Dick Clark has died at the age of 82 after a massive heart attack following a medical procedure at St. John's Hospital in Santa Monica. If you're not familiar with Dick Clark, here's the moral of the story. He changed the entertainment world forever. He was a genius on both sides of the camera, working as both a host and a producer. He's known primarily to the younger generations as the host of the New Year's Rockin' Eve special in Times Square, which he created in 1972. He's also known as the host of American Bandstand and a crap ton of other specials.
And if you need more of a reason to respect the Clark, consider the fact that he was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1993, and they had this to say about him. Dick Clark was significant in transforming the record business into an international industry. His weekly televised record hops, which predated MTV by 25 years, played an integral role in establishing rock and roll, keeping it alive, and shaping its future.
Back in 2004, Dick Clark unfortunately suffered a stroke that massively affected his ability to host. Still, despite the setback, he continued to make appearances on the New Year's Eve special, even as Ryan Seacrest continued to take a more active role, finally taking over his hosting position in 2006.
Due to the fact that he was extremely youthful looking, he earned the nickname America's Oldest Teenager. He hosted 5 different versions of the Pyramid Game Show and built an empire of entertainment off the success of Bandstand.
Upon hearing of his death, Ryan Seacrest, who was often touted as being our generation's Dick Clark, tweeted, "I'm deeply saddened by the loss of my dear friend Dick Clark. He has truly been one of the greatest influences in my life."
Clark got his start at a radio station his uncle owned and had a large stint as a Top 40 Countdown show host. It was called the Dick Clark Radio Show, and it was one of the earliest attempts at radio syndication. And he was hugely innovative in his music choices. He introduced people to some of the most amazing rock and roll musicians, from black musicians to white musicians.
And during the 1980s, Clark kept himself busy by hosting 3 television shows on 3 different networks at the exact same time: ABC's Bandstand, CBS's Pyramid, and NBC's Bloopers.
So bottom line, Dick Clark was a boss. He began with nothing and built an empire for himself. Then as his health was failing, he tried to make appearances whenever he could, like a true professional. He's a hard worker, an excellent business person, and he lives in the memories of most of the people alive today.
Exactly. As someone like me who happens to love television, hearing that an idol of mine like Dick Clark is dead just plain sucks. Fortunately, he's made an amazing life for himself, and he's made huge strides in the worlds of radio, television, and music. And of course, people are going to make a bajillion Dick jokes for the rest of the week, and I get it, that's what our generation does, but that doesn't change the fact that Dick Clark has shaped how we watch television and how we listen to music.
And as news of his death spreads like wildfire across the internet, we have to give credit to those that are paying their respects. From one class act to another, Neil Patrick Harris tweeted, "Forever Dick Clark, so long."
So what memories do you have of Dick Clark? Is it from New Year's, TV, radio? Leave a comment down below. And also, from us here at SourceFed, we would like to thank Dick Clark for paving the way.